today sort of like a preparation day for the spring game?
Yeah, so we split up into our teams that we'll be in. I can't stand disorganization. So, we practice kind of from that setting while still getting the work that we wanted to get in. We banged a lot this camp. So these last couple weeks, these last 2 days, I wanted us to learn how to practice. We do something called a Fast Friday in season with just helmets on. And last year our Fast Fridays were atrocious because they weren't fast, right? And we got to learn how to be able to practice full speed with helmets on. So I made that an emphasis from last fall that I wanted to fix in spring. And today, I actually thought we did that. It was high tempo, good energy, guys chasing the ball, right, without pads on. And you have to be able to do that if you want to play games that matter at the end of the season.
Was there any pleasant surprise, you think, that kind of materialized itself, something you weren't expecting from practice one that you're really seeing now?
I just think our team is, I've said this before, I would say my team's pretty tight. Like the majority of our guys have grown together. I think you can hear that with some comments just from people who show up, whether it's a recruit or an alumni who comes around our building and feels the culture that's building. They can feel that it's just natural, comfortable. Guys have relationships. They feel like they can be themselves here, and I think that's showing up. When you take the field and guys communicate with each other, or somebody's having a bad day and 7 guys go up to them, all that stuff matters because these are still 18, 22-year-olds.
Is that what you expected to be at this level, or maybe that was a little surprised that it happened so quickly?
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a different age of college sports that to say I had like an exact science of is it year 2 or year 3 we should have that. I really don't know the answer to that. I can say I feel good about where we're at from where we were 18 months ago when we stepped foot on campus here to where we are now, culturally, talent level, just top to bottom, recruiting. I feel like we're trending in the right direction. And now with that comes results. Like I'm also fully aware that a lot of bark with no bite doesn't matter. That eventually we have to show on the field that we are improving to reflect everything else that's improving. Now has to show up on Saturdays. We got to be competitive. We got to be in games. We got to win games. And we got to show that improvement is not just, a fluff.
Keith Abney had a good practice today.
He did. Keith's had a really good spring. You can trust Keith.
Are you sure that first one was incomplete? Because we may need to get a review on that one.
Yeah, there should have been a review. I thought it was definitely an interception, and then I decided that I didn't want to end the drill. So I said it was incomplete. That's the beauty of the whistle.
As a coach, I know you're used to change, but all the different changes with whether it be players or coaches, how do you adapt to that, and how do you get used to that, I guess?
Yeah, it's not a matter of adapting or getting used to. It's just like you control what you can control. It's like what I said the other day, like everybody who's worried about all this stuff, that has no effect on what I do today. Or it may have an effect, but I can't control it. So why would I waste an ounce of energy on anything that's not going to make us better? Every ounce of energy, every second I waste talking, feeling, whining, complaining about something that doesn't get us better is wasted. And I want everybody, our team, our players, our coaches, our community, the Valley, to focus on what can get us where we want to go, not what has stopped us in the past from getting there. It's what can we do now to get there? And there's something everybody can do, whether it's me, whether it's my mother, whether it's Kent, my little boy coming out here, and maybe that's the difference. I don't know. Maybe a recruit sees that and they're like, oh man, well, there's a family atmosphere there, all because my wife and Kent come out to practice. I don't know. You never know what the difference is, and you never know the value you truly have somewhere. You don't. Whether you're the smallest role or the biggest role, you don't. And everybody in this community has a role in getting this program to where everybody thinks it can be.
You mentioned some guys, but your overall thought on just the growth of the defense as a group this spring.
Yeah, year 2 in it, having some guys that are returning that understand, especially in the back end, that can make calls, was huge for us because we're progressing a lot. And then even year 2 in terms of, all right, what are some minor adjustments we want to make as a staff going into a new league, if any, based off what we're going to face. And that's not in quite yet, but it was just our guys are more comfortable in the system. And then we signed guys that came from a similar system in the back end, right? That's one thing that we looked at is, okay, this guy's a good player, this guy's productive, but did this guy come from a quarters or two Tampa system, or did this guy's come from a match third system? All right, well, if he came from our kind of system, football's similar everywhere, then he may not know the words we speak, but he knows what his job is, so it's going to correlate faster. And that was one thing that we looked at in these, especially the back end and the secondary transfers on defenses. Do they fit, or do they come from a similar system? Very similar to what the NFL does when somebody knows the verbiage of one system and they sign him to a free agent role at another system because he's familiar with the system. We try to do that a little bit, and when it was close on kids, we took those kids. And I think that kind of showed up this spring.
And
How
this,
many guys do you think that will hold out Friday?
We're not going to hold out anybody that's healthy. We're going to play everybody that's healthy. Friday is going to be a little different, though. It's not just going to be a scrimmage. It's going to be a lot of competitions. We're going to have a punt competition. We're going to have you have to field a punt, O-lineman, D-lineman competition. We're going to have a kickoff competition, a field goal competition, special teams, one-on-one competitions. We're going to have a one-on-one battle where wideout versus DB, linebacker versus running back. And then we'll do a little bit of 11 on 11. But I think we got the majority of our work in. Now it's, time to showcase some of the guys, like I told our leadership council, that don't always get to be on TV. Not all the guys that aren't always in every game on game day. It's time to showcase those guys, and on the Pac-12 network for the last time, let those guys kind of be seen a little bit, and let their parents see them, let their communities see them, kind of go out there and be the face of it, because I think we need every guy on our team to be bought in. So we're going to get those guys involved at a high level.
And I think, in this era of NIL and transfer portal, you got a guy like Cam Scatterwood. I mean, had a great year, maybe surprised a lot of people. And, what does it say about his humility to come in better shape than last year, having a great spring, and, just tweeting yesterday, I'm a Sun Devil for life?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I think it just shows the direction we're going. If you look at the guys that we brought in as a staff, I think we've lost one guy that our staff has brought in the last 70-something guys we brought in. I think one of those have been our guy, a guy that we signed. And I think the guys that we're signing trust us because we don't lie to them, we don't promise them, we give them the hard truths, and they take those hard truths and they grow from them and get better. And they see that maybe some people will just tell me what I want to hear. Maybe that'll hinder my growth. But here you're going to get the truth whether you like it or not. And I think for a guy like Scat, he took that and he challenged himself. He got in the best shape of his life, and he's probably my top 3 MVPs of camp because of his mindset and attitude. This spring ball has been absolutely night and day. I told him after the season, I don't know if you're a Sunday guy, in my exit meeting. I told him about a week and a half ago, I said, I think you're a Sunday guy. And that's just because his mindset and his work ethic.
Spring practices, sometimes you can have dips throughout them, and maybe especially at the end. What would you say kind of the intensity has been like towards the end of these practices? Has there been any dip in your mind?
I think there was one day, it was last Thursday, where we took the pads off and they were in helmets and it dipped. It wasn't a great day. So I think a little bit, but I think our guys, for the most part, they want it. They want it. They want to be good. Today's warm-ups weren't great. Xavier and Alfred brings everybody in, gives them a little talk, hey, we got to snap out of this. We got to go practice. Let's maximize today. And then we went out and had a really good day today. And I think that's what I told our guys after practice is, can't always be the coaches. You guys got to be able to look at each other and get yourselves out of a hole. And today we were about to fall into a hole, and our own team stopped us from falling into that in practice, and that's why I cut it short. So I'm like, you know what, we got our work in, and I'm proud of you guys for fixing the problem that was about to happen.
Did that happen last year at all?
Oh yeah, often.
You said that you were excited for some of these guys that didn't have much exposure to kind of show face. Who specifically do you think we need to look out for that maybe not as seen?
Yeah, Jack Ball, Adama. I could Borgay. I could go on from that. There's a lot of guys, just a lot of guys that put in the work day in and day out, and nobody ever talks about them. I want those guys to be the only 2 people taking a rep on TV and everybody's eyes on them, so everybody knows, hey, listen, I'm here too. I'm a part of this. I'm a vital piece, and I want them to know that we're going to take time to showcase them in this thing. Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank y'all.
I was about Scotto because I don't know if he needed it for you.
No.